smoked salmon dip, smoked salmon spread. Super easy to make. Yesterday we smoked a bunch of salmon here on the smoker. You don't have to have a smoker or smoke your own salmon to do this. You can certainly find small fillets or larger fillets at grocery stores, lots of places, lots of fresh ingredients, better than anything you can buy pre-packaged, delicious and easy. Here you go, smoked salmon dip. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So lots of ingredients. You can see more ingredients behind me. There's some variations that you can definitely play around with, but it's pretty simple. What is a must-have is garlic. I feel like garlic is a must, and obviously fresh dill you can always find in the grocery store like this, but if you can get it local, even better. Lots of dill really makes it. So we're gonna actually start with those ingredients, and we're gonna use a food processor. It just makes things so much easier. So we're gonna get that blended. We're gonna blend up some salmon, mix in cream cheese, add some seasonings. We are gonna do some stuff like this, give a little bit of crunch, a little bit of texture, but we don't want to pulverize that in the food processor. We'll mince that by hand and mix it in later. But let's go ahead and start with some garlic, add some flavor. All right, so anytime I'm doing a dish that has garlic in it, especially in the food processor, I like to do the garlic first, and I can mince it here, but what it does is it's gonna give a coating all the way around, so all my other ingredients are gonna get a lot of garlic. If you're not a big fan of garlic, you can go less. You could absolutely add like shallots or onions if you wanted to. I'm not even gonna chop that up, I'm just gonna throw it in, and we're just gonna pulverize this. It already smells so good. So that dill and garlic is really what we want to shine through. All right, now it's time for the smoked salmon. Now for us, I smoked a ton of these yesterday. If you want to see how I did that, you can check that out. Well, I made a couple fillets extra. We're a little bit, not as presentable, but still delicious. Just a ton of this great flavor. Now, if you want bigger chunks of salmon, then you could definitely hold off and just, kind of do this at the end because it's going to flake apart really easy. Right now, I'm doing most of it, not all of it, most of it now. I'm going to kind of pulverize that, and then I'm going to add in some cream cheese. But you could certainly just hold off on the salmon if you want some bigger chunks. I'll leave some chunks out for later. All right, so I still have some chunks in here that I got to break apart. What's great about this too, if you have some salmon, most of my salmon turned out great, but sometimes you get some that got a little too hot, you couldn't get that temperature low enough, and so you can't quite get it all dried out. Excuse me, you can't get it as moist, so dried out. Well, now we're gonna add some more flavor to it. My family is all lactose free, so we're using a lactose free cream cheese, but Philadelphia, any other cream cheese would work. This is just Green Valley, great stuff. It's a schmear, it's great. You could add some sour cream, you could do mayo. It just depends on how thick you want it. I'm gonna be adding a fair amount of lemon juice and Worcestershire, however you pronounce it. I feel like that's like the secret sauce. So then it's gonna get pretty runny later. So the cream cheese is a nice, good start. All right, now that it's nice and nasty and a mess everywhere. All right, at this point, I could blender it, but I'm gonna go ahead and add my lemon juice now because I know I'm gonna do it. Then there's gonna be some more moisture. It's gonna make everything blend a little bit easier. So we're gonna add some lemon juice right now. Fresh lemons, nothing like it. All right, so it's all about your flavor profile, but obviously we know that salmon goes really well with lemon. And it's a nice juicy lemon. So it's, again, I would start small and then build up how much you want. You don't want to make it overflowing, but lemon is a must. You could definitely add some lemon zest if you wanted some other little pockets of goodness. All right, we're using a coffee filter because I couldn't find our strainer or sieve. I don't want the seeds in there. All right, so we're just gonna add some juice in here. Like I mentioned, some of the other, of course, it's coffee, so it's, for coffee grounds. Some of the other liquids that we're gonna add is definitely the Worcestershire. It adds a great flavor. If you like it spicy, you can add some more hot sauce. All right, that's too slow. Just gonna catch the seeds in my hand. Why did I even use it is what we're asking. Let's just do it. Recipe, there's no recipe. I don't do recipes. You just get an idea, you just eyeball it, just what tastes right to you. There's so many different flavor profiles, what people like. So I don't know, this is like 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire. You can add some Dijon. I love Dijon. I think it goes really well with all of this. Just a little bit of mustard flavor. Lovely sounds. Hot sauce. Lots of hot sauces. It just depends on the palate. This is going to be for a bunch of other folks, so I'm not going to go too crazy. There's a little bit of hot sauce. All right, I'm definitely gonna add some salt. Not too much because the smoked salmon's in there. I love Lowry's. There's lots of other goodness in here. I use this on just about everything. Fresh ground pepper. All right, I already put fresh dill in there, but we're gonna have some more dill because it's really gonna shine. All right, some paprika and some chili powder, a little back of the throat flavor, a little bit. Not too much chili powder. Again, you're making it for who is gonna eat it and their palate. A little bit of onion powder. Like I mentioned earlier, you could throw in some onions or some shallots. Again, some variables here. All right, we are gonna hold off on that. Let's go ahead and blender this mess up. All right. It's already so good. Now, since we're in the food processor, like I mentioned, the consistency. So right now, it's just like kind of a creamy. I don't want that. I want some chunks to it. So we are gonna add some cucumber, we're gonna add some bell pepper, and we're gonna have some of this other salmon that we're just gonna hand chunks so you got some bigger bits and chunks. But the flavor is already there. You can kind of doctor it up a little bit more, however you see fit. All right, great flavor. I know I'm gonna doctor it up a little bit. I will personally add some more lemon juice to mine because that's what I like. But right now I wanna add some crunch. So I think English cucumber is great. You can use a normal cucumber, but English cucumbers are usually a little bit more firm. So we're gonna prep some of this. So it really depends on your consistency again. So here for the chop, not giant chunks, but I want some good crunch to it. And so I think the English cucumber is great. You could really, you could mess around with all kinds of flavors, but I think some English cucumber and some bell peppers is great. You could definitely add some heat here. You could add some jalapeno or some other fun peppers, but just a little crunch goes a long way. And then yes, more of that glorious lemon juice. All right, so at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and mix in more. I am gonna add the rest of this salmon, just because I want some of those bigger chunks. So I do recommend, if you're gonna do the food processor, which is really easy, is just set some of that salmon aside so you can get some chunks in after the fact. A lot of people will use capers in theirs. It just depends on your preference, some other ingredients. Have fun with it, experiment, but I feel like the peppers and the cucumbers are pretty basic and they're not gonna be they're good for texture and chunk. I mean, you could do some celery if you wanted some more crunch to it, if you wanted to stretch it out a little bit longer. But this is a pretty loaded. A lot of them will be mostly cream cheese. This one, it's a lot of other good stuff in it. The salmon really is the star. So have fun, play around with the variables. But let's mix these little chunks up. All right, now just get a good mix in. I mean, obviously you could put this back in the fridge, which you will, to store. If you wanted to set it up a little bit more with all those juices, flies, go away. They know what's up. But my gosh, it might not look the most appetizing. So if you want more of like a spread or like a pretty ball, you're gonna have to add more cream cheese, to get that, and not as much liquid. But I really feel the lemon and the Worcestershire alone, that's where the flavor town comes from. So, gosh, it's, video, I wish you could smell it, wish you could taste it. All right. Bam. All right, great crunch. Great crunch with cucumber and the pepper. I can still get some chunks of that salmon, but I love the tang. Personally, I love the tang of the lemon and the Worcestershire. So play around with that. Have fun with it, right? Recipes are great, and you can look online for other recipes. I don't even have one here. You see, you kind of estimate about what I'm going. Have fun with it, right? Cooking as an art is pretty fun. So, all right, well, it is delicious. I think this dip is great for crackers. Again, consistency, you can play around. Oh, it's just so good. Sorry, if you're cooking something, you have to eat it on camera, but it's still awkward to me. All right. Well, if this video provided value and you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. New channel, small channel. My main channel is Eight Woodworks. You can see here, we make power car bowls, cutting boards, this outdoor kitchen, this patio cover, all kinds of different things, lasers, CNCs, traditional tools, pretty fun stuff. But here, just having fun, making some favorite recipes, trying out some new stuff, using these handmade boards and bowls and whatnot. If you have your own tips for a salmon dip, a salmon spread, leave a comment down below what you've tried out. Again, no professional chef here, just a dude who loves making good food. So if you haven't checked out that video, smoker, salmon, so good. Check it out. All right. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.